What is going on, everybody? My name's Chris. Welcome to Bourbinsane. We're here today with a very, very special episode. One I've been wanting to do for a very long time. We are doing Cask Strength Rye head-to-head challenge. Can't wait to get into this. We've got some great expressions. Now, for these four whiskeys, I have not tried any of these ever. So I'm really excited to get into these. It's going to be completely blind to me. Never tried them. All these are sealed bottles. Let's talk about what we have today. So on my left, we have Sagamore Cask Strength Rye. Now all these bottles come in right around the $70 to $75 price range from what I've seen. Starting with Sagamore though, this is a non-age statement whiskey, about 4 to 5 years according to the distillery. Strength on this is pretty high, so 56.1%, 112.2 proof. And Sagamore actually uses a combination of two different mash bills of rye, so quite a high rye mash bill, and then a just barely legal rye mash bill. So probably, they don't disclose, but probably 51% rye, and the higher one being around 70% rye, I'm guessing. So the next product we're going to be doing is actually Willet 4-Year. And this Willet 4-Year was sent to me by a viewer, one of my patrons actually, Brian Walsh. Thank you so much for sending me this sample. One I have not tried, been really wanting to try, so I really appreciate that. I've heard the 4-year is better than the 3-year, so with this head-to-head, I think the 4-year is going to mesh well. Willet 4-year does a similar thing to Sagamore. So they actually do a blend of two of their mash bills, so same thing. One that's barely legal rye, probably 51% again, and then also a higher rye around that 70. So they blend those together to get the flavor profile they want. This is 111 proof, so very similar, and all four of these you're going to see are all very similar in proof, so it's pretty much going to be indistinguishable proof-wise on the palate. Next in the flight here is Knob Creek Cask Strength Rye. Now this comes in at 59.8%, so 119.6 proof, and this does say right on the label here, barreled in 2009. So I bought this bottle back in 2018, so this is a 9-year rye. Pretty old for what we're going to be comparing today. So another one comes in around that $70 price range. Heard a lot of really good things about this bottle, so looking forward to that. And the final Cask Strength Rye we're going to be comparing is Michter's Barrel Strength Rye. Incredible things I've heard about this, and I was fortunate enough to have Rob hook me up with this bottle. Thank you so much, Rob. You know who you are. I really appreciate this. Again, around that $70 price range. This is 109.6 proof. So again, the lowest proof we have is 109, coming in up to 119 with the Knob Creek. So not a huge difference. Michter's is around, there's no age statement at all. It was hard for me to find any age, but it's probably going to be around 6 years from just the things I read, kind of the rumors. So without further ado, let's get into the actual tasting. I'm going to have my wife come down here, Mrs. Bourbinsane, pour these blind for me. I'll be right back with you. Alright everyone, we are back. Samples are poured, everything's blind. Before we get into the review real quick, I just have to give a quick shout out to Antonio over on Whiskey Quest. If you guys have not checked out Antonio yet, go subscribe to him right now. He's doing great things. He was kind enough to purchase a challenge coin for me, and he said, go ahead and just send me the coin that wins in your next blind flight you do. So that's what I'm doing. We've got 36, 37, 38, 39. Whichever one comes out on top, it's going to you, Antonio. Let's get into the tasting, guys. Starting with sample number 1. It smells like it's got some kick on it. Honestly, the first thing that comes to mind on this is kind of a char on it. A char note. I mean, it's definitely cinnamon, clove, baking spice forward. It smells like a rye whiskey. It's definitely got sting to it, though. It smells great. As far as color goes on this, guys, you can see the glasses. They're all very similar in color, so I'm probably not going to get too much into the color. Legs on this are great, though, sticking very well to the glass. Almost like a chocolatey note in this as well. Smells really nice. Cheers, guys. Yeah, it's definitely got pepper on the back of the tongue. Baking spices all over. For being rye, it's very baking spice forward on this. Chocolatey on the back end too. So rich. Yeah, I mean, peppery, baking spices, chocolatey finish. Really, really nice on this one. I really like that. All right, moving on to sample number 2. Not as much of the rye kick on the nose on this one. It's still there. Still smells like a rye whiskey for sure. Not getting as much of a, I guess, that toasted kind of barrel note as I did with sample number 1. A little more citrus in this, I would say, than the first sample as well. Maybe like that kind of a lemony orange coming through more. Another very nice nose, though. Proof does not smell as hot as sample number 1. Possibly one of the lower proof ryes, or just not as much rye in it. It's easy to get rye and proof confused because they're very similar profiles, so. Excellent flavor on that, though. Wow. Again, 1 and 2 both have a very chocolatey finish to me. Maybe my tongue's just craving some chocolate today or something, but very rich chocolatey finish. I think the Cask Strength Rye really helps with that mouthfeel, that finish that comes through. I still definitely think 2 is brighter than 1. Brighter as in more fruity citrus notes coming through on both the palate and on the nose. Yeah. Fruity. Very fruity. Orange, citrus, orange zest. 1 smells more like oak to me than 2 does. Just on initial impression, I'm going to go back through these, but on initial impression, I'd say 1 is probably older than 2. Please don't judge me. I'm still working on these blinds. They're very difficult to do blinds, so don't be too harsh on me, everyone. All right, on to sample number 3. A little bit more of a sharp, youthful note maybe on this compared to the first 2. Still smells like a great rye whiskey, though. It's not off-putting by any means on the nose. Lemongrass. Honey in this. Proof doesn't smell, again, as high as number 1. Number 1, again, was my first pour of the entire day, so my tongue was not acclimated to the higher proof as well, so. Again, more fruit forward. I'd say 2 and 3 have been more fruit forward on this. Let's give it a sip. Cheers, guys. Spearmint. A lot of spearmint on the palate on this. More of the oak, I think, is coming through on 3 as well. So if I was guessing, I'm going to say 3 is one of the older expressions. So either the Knob Creek, 6 and 7 years about the same, or 4 to 5 on the Sagamore, 6 to 7 theoretically on the Michters. So on initial palate, I'd say this tastes older. Spearmint and rye, I tend to get a lot more on older things, like older rye expressions. So not as much spearmint on the nose. It's there now. A little more barrel coming through now as well. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a wintergreen mint spearmint on the palate. Definitely not as, to me, as rich of a finish as 1 and 2 kind of had that nice chocolatey finish. I'm not getting that as much on sample number 3. Still very, very good, though. This is going to be really tough because all 3 so far have been really good expressions. I wouldn't have a problem drinking any of these any day of the week. All right, on to sample number 4. Citrus on this as well. That orange, lemon, cinnamon is in here. Almost a little bit of like nutmeg and clove come through as well. I don't smell much oak in this though. Boy, all these are really good. It's going to be hard to pick a winner. This, again, didn't have as much of that, the spearmint. No oak reel on the palate. A nice medium finish on it still. But a lot brighter. Along with sample number 2, was it, that had a lot of the, more of the citrus notes to me. Yeah. I think this is more similar to that. More citrus is coming through on the nose and the palate for this. Almost like some apple is coming through on that too. Kind of odd. I don't pick that up too much with rye whiskeys. Kind of a new one for me, but yeah, apple. More of a richer apple to me though, like maybe mixed in with some vanilla or caramel. So maybe this isn't as high of a rye mash bill. Not as strong of a rye flavor compared to some of the others. So, man, all of these are really good though. Give me about 15 minutes, guys. I'm going to take the tops off these, let them open up a little bit. I'll be right back here. We'll try them again. All right, everyone, we are back. Let's go back through this line, see if we can pick a winner here. This is really difficult. See if any of our tastes change now that we've taken about 15 minutes. So let's get back into it. We'll start with sample number 4 here. Still smells very fruit forward on this. Again, the orange lemongrass. This is almost like orange zest in a glass. And still baking spices in there. Kind of like an allspice clove. Still there. Yeah, I'm not getting as much of a rye kick out of this. It still tastes like a rye whiskey, but I just don't think it's as maybe high of a rye mash bill. Could just be my palate today. Very good though, very good. I mean, those citrus notes I'm getting are typical of a rye, but you know, none of the mint, wintergreen at all in this one. So, all right, back into sample number 3. Yeah, immediately on the nose now, compared to sample number 4, it just smells very spearmint and, wow, and wintergreen. It definitely smells more oaky too. I hope I'm not way off on these. I've never tried any of these before, so I don't know what to expect from any of them. When I think more oaky, I think maybe one of these two. Michter's using the, they usually use that toast on their barrels, like an extra toast, and then they char their barrels. Sometimes that can add a different layer of complexity to it. And then this is a 9-year-old, which is the oldest of what we're comparing, so. But I really like it when those wintergreen notes start to come through. And, you know, I don't think the first time through I described much of a chocolatey note on this, but now on the finish, this is almost like a Andes mint chocolate. You know, the little Andes mint chocolate chip little candies you get like when you go to Olive Garden or something. That's what this tastes like. That's really nice. The finish on that is really nice. All right, on to sample number 2. Interesting. Now the nose on number 2 smells more like a musty wood now. Which, again, sometimes that note I'll describe on older whiskeys. You know, the longer time in the barrel, kind of that distinct, kind of musty rickhouse wood smell. And that came through more on this. So again, this could also be Knob Creek or maybe the Michter's Toasted. Still more citrusy. Definitely more citrusy. It's still got the chocolate though. Chocolate is just in my head today. I'm gonna have to go eat a candy bar after this. Yeah. 2 is even creamier than 3. It's creamy. It's got more of an oak presence as well, especially than 4. But 2 has a very nice, rich, full, creamy finish. And for cask strength ryes, a lot of times they can leave a very dry, peppery finish. This one doesn't do that. Number 2 does not do that. It's a very nice, chocolatey, long finish. Very mouth coating. I'm a fan. I am a fan of this one. Man, this is going to be difficult. This is going to be difficult. All right, on to our last time through, going into number 1. Still smells higher proof on the nose. Stings the nostrils.
Stings the nostrils.
Smells very rich. You know, number 1 smells very rich. It's not sharp. It's amazing how going back through a line the second time through can change everything based on the order you're tasting these in. I don't like the finish as much on 1. Definitely more of a chocolatey finish on 3. 3 and 2, actually. A little more of a chocolatey finish. The finish is okay on 1. It's, let me try it again. Let's give it another sip here for science. That's good too, though. That's good. It still tastes pretty hot on the palate, but it's not giving me as long of a finish as I was anticipating it would, based on the nose. You know, usually that really high proof really gives me a very long finish. Still very solid. Man, oh man, this is going to be a difficult choice. Give me about 10 more minutes, guys. I'm going to do some trying side by side. We'll see if anything sticks out to me. We'll be right back. Alright everyone, we're back. I think I've come to a conclusion here. First of all, let me start by saying there isn't a bad whiskey in this whole bunch. All 4 of these are really good. They're all good in their own right, and they're all a little bit different. Depending on the mood I'm in, I could want any of these. So none of these are bad, and it was very hard to choose a winner. The taste in my mouth right now is just like menthol. It's like a menthol, that rye whiskey flavor left on the back of your palate. I know you know what I'm talking about. So good. Let's go over our order. With my last choice, I went with sample number 4. Sample number 4, it was good, but going back through, trying them next to each other off camera, it was a little more sharp and not as well rounded as some of the other expressions. My wife was kind enough to put the results in an envelope here, so we'll go ahead and read, find out what number 4 is. This is letter A. So number 4 is letter A. Number A is the Sagamore Cask Strength. A very good bottle. Again, this is not a bad bottle at all. 4 or 5 years, I could see that. It was a little bit sharper, didn't seem as well rounded, and the finish just wasn't quite as nice as I would have liked. Still an excellent expression. I got this bottle personally for $75, so I could drink this all day, every day. They say it's a Maryland rye, and maybe there's a difference between Maryland rye and the rest of them. Maybe that's why I thought maybe the flavor was a little bit different or unique. But I'm still a fan. Still a fan, and it's still a really good whiskey. My third favorite choice was sample number 1. So sample number 1, again, very good, just not quite as well rounded as the rest of them. And this is letter D. Letter D, wow, this surprises me. Letter D is the Michter's Toasted. Wow, this was one of my early favorites, just reading about everything and seeing which one that me personally from my flavor profile I would like the most. Still, again, as I mentioned, a very, very good whiskey. And it had a unique toast on this, but this was good. Off camera I was trying all these and it was still very good. All these were just neck and neck and so hard for me to choose, so a very, very good product, very hard to find. If you can find this, I still recommend you get this bottle because this was an excellent, excellent expression, and you definitely can't go wrong with it. Between 2 and 3, very, very difficult choice, and I'm really curious to see which one of these won, because I'm going to be surprised if it's if it's the Willet, honestly. But my second favorite choice was number 2. Number 2 is my second favorite choice. And between 2 and 3, it took me a long time to decide, but this is letter C. Letter C is Knob Creek. Wow. Letter C is Knob Creek Cask Strength. How about that? That means our number 1 whiskey was this little sample bottle right here. Willet 4-Year Rye. Damn, they must be doing something right. Both of these really, really good. I kind of described that musty wood note in this one, number 2, which was the Knob Creek, which makes sense because it is the oldest expression, and I think maybe that mustiness that I was getting, I didn't actually care for as much as I did sample number 3, which is just all chocolate. Chocolatey richness and goodness. I do not know how far down this bottle it was. If it was about halfway, just a new fresh neck pour on that, that could have something to do with it. Maybe it opened up a lot. But today, Willet 4-Year Rye came out on top for me, and I am not disappointed about it. I have got a bottle of Willet 4-Year coming to me very soon, and I cannot wait to get it now. Whew! An excellent head-to-head. I love doing these blind tastings, especially this, a true double blind, where I don't know what I'm getting. I don't know anything about the bottles or the expressions too. So just an awesome time. If you guys like seeing these blind flights, please do let me know. I want to do a lot more of these. I'd love to do just a regular barrel proof flight, bottled and bond flight. I mean, a whole bunch of stuff I want to do. It's just getting the time to do it. But Antonio, today you're going home with challenge coin 38. Congratulations, my friend. Thank you all so much for watching this review today. A quick shout out to my brand new patron, Captain Make It Happen. John, welcome to the Bourbinsane family. Thank you so much for supporting me. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everyone who supports me. Leave a comment down below. Please do consider liking, subscribing to the channel. Let me know what you'd like to see next. What do you guys want to see from the channel? I'm quickly approaching 1,000 subscribers, and I've got some cool stuff planned for the live stream when we do hit 1,000. So keep an eye out for that, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. Stay insane, everyone.